Imagine an island nation isolated at the edge of Asia. A land of emperors, samurai, civil wars, earthquakes, atomic bombs, and technological miracles. A country that rose from feudal battlefields to become one of the most advanced societies on Earth. This is the extraordinary story of Japan. And in the next 10 minutes, you'll witness over 2,000 years of history unfold before your eyes. Stand on the shores of Japan thousands of years ago. Dense forests cover the mountains. Mist drifts across untouched valleys. Small villages sit beside rivers where hunters and gatherers fish, farm, and survive beneath the shadow of volcanoes. No castles, no samurai, no great cities. Just scattered communities living on islands that would one day shape world history. But beyond the horizon, powerful civilizations are rising. And soon, their influence will transform Japan forever. Long before written records, Japan was home to the Jomon people. For thousands of years, they lived in small settlements surrounded by forests and coastlines rich with fish and wildlife. Their pottery, among the oldest ever discovered, reveals a surprisingly sophisticated culture. Then came a dramatic change. Around 300 BC, new migrants arrived from mainland Asia. They brought rice farming, metal tools, and new technologies. This period became known as the Yayoi era. Rice fields spread across fertile plains. Villages grew larger. Power became concentrated. The foundations of Japanese civilization had been laid. As centuries passed, powerful clans emerged. Among them was one family that would eventually dominate all others. The imperial line. A dynasty that, remarkably, continues to this day. By the 7th century, Japan was transforming into a centralized state. Chinese influence flowed across the sea. Buddhism arrived. Writing systems developed. Grand temples rose above the landscape. The imperial capital moved to Nara. Wide avenues, government buildings, and magnificent religious complexes symbolized a growing nation. But the true flowering of Japanese culture came in the city of Heian-kyo. Modern Kyoto. Inside elegant wooden palaces, nobles dressed in flowing silk robes. Poets wrote beneath cherry blossoms. Artists painted scenes of courtly life. Music echoed through candlelit halls. This was Japan's golden age of refinement. Yet beyond the capital's beauty, another force was rising. Warriors. And soon, they would reshape the nation. Across Japan's provinces, powerful landowners hired warriors to protect their territories. These fighters became known as samurai, masters of the sword, experts in mounted combat, bound by ideals of loyalty and honor. As imperial authority weakened, military clans gained strength. Two families emerged above all others, the Taira and the Minamoto. Their rivalry exploded into civil war. Battles raged across rivers, mountains, and seas. In 1185, the Minamoto clan emerged victorious. Japan entered a new era. Real power now belonged to military rulers called shoguns. The emperor remained a sacred symbol, but the samurai ruled the country. For centuries, their code and culture would define Japan. In the 13th century, a terrifying threat appeared. The Mongol Empire, the largest empire in human history, led by the descendants of Genghis Khan. Twice, massive invasion fleets crossed the sea toward Japan. Thousands of warriors prepared for battle. The nation braced for destruction. Then nature intervened. Violent typhoons smashed the invading fleets. Ships shattered. Soldiers drowned. The Japanese called these storms kamikaze. Japan had survived. But peace would not last. Over the next centuries, rival warlords fought relentlessly for power. Castles rose across the landscape. Entire provinces became battlefields. Villages burned. Alliances shifted constantly. The nation descended into chaos. Three extraordinary leaders appeared: Oda Nobunaga, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, and Tokugawa Ieyasu. Together, they would reunify Japan. In 1603, Tokugawa Ieyasu became shogun. His victory ushered in one of the longest periods of peace in Japanese history. For over 250 years, Japan enjoyed remarkable stability. Massive castles dominated growing cities. Merchants filled bustling marketplaces. Samurai patrolled orderly streets. The city of Edo, modern Tokyo, expanded into one of the world's largest urban centers. Yet Japan made a unique decision. It largely closed itself off from the outside world. Foreign influence was restricted. International trade became tightly controlled. While Europe entered the age of exploration and industrialization, Japan remained largely isolated. The peace brought prosperity. But isolation came at a cost. Because beyond the oceans, the world was changing rapidly. And soon, that world would come knocking. In 1853, black smoke appeared on the horizon. American warships entered Japanese waters. Their commander was Commodore Matthew Perry. His message was simple: open your ports, or face the consequences. Japan's leaders realized they could no longer remain isolated. The old order began to collapse. In 1868, a revolution transformed the nation. The Meiji Restoration. Power was restored to the emperor. Samurai privileges were abolished. Modern industries emerged. Railways stretched across the country. Factories multiplied. Western technology poured in. Within a few decades, Japan achieved what many believed impossible. It transformed from a feudal society into a modern industrial power. The world watched in amazement. Success fueled ambition. Japan sought influence beyond its islands. Victories against China and Russia shocked the world. For the first time in modern history, an Asian nation had defeated a major European power. National pride soared. The empire expanded. But expansion led to conflict. By the 1930s, Japan was engaged in brutal wars across Asia. Then came World War II. On December 7, 1941, Japanese aircraft attacked Pearl Harbor. The Pacific erupted into war. Battles raged across oceans and islands. Millions suffered. Cities burned. As the conflict dragged on, Japan faced overwhelming opposition. Then came August 1945. 2 atomic bombs. Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Entire cities vanished in moments. The war was over. Japan surrendered. Its empire collapsed. The nation lay in ruins. The destruction was almost unimaginable. Factories destroyed. Cities reduced to rubble. Millions struggling to survive. Yet from these ashes emerged one of history's most remarkable recoveries. Japan rebuilt. Industries modernized. Education expanded. Innovation flourished. Companies became global giants. Japanese automobiles, electronics, and technology reached every corner of the world. Tokyo transformed into a dazzling metropolis of skyscrapers, neon lights, and high-speed trains. The nation that once fought with swords now led the world in technology. It was an economic miracle few had thought possible. Today, Japan is a land where ancient temples stand beside futuristic skyscrapers, where samurai castles overlook bullet trains, where centuries-old traditions coexist with cutting-edge innovation. Its history is a story of resilience, of transformation, of survival against overwhelming odds. From isolated villages and imperial courts to samurai battlefields, world wars, and technological revolutions, Japan has continually reinvented itself while preserving the spirit of its past. And perhaps that is what makes Japan so fascinating. History never truly disappeared here. It simply evolved. If you enjoyed this journey through the history of Japan, consider subscribing for more cinematic historical documentaries. And let us know in the comments, which civilization, empire, or ancient city should we explore next?